Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Fantastic. Happy Pi Day to you.
To you too, sir. Day 3 of our project.
Yes, I love it. At 3, and it worked out to be Pi Day. You know, it's a good approximation.
That's what happens when you're good.
Yeah. Thoughts on the day? I'll kind of leave this up to you. Anything you want to discuss or talk about from day 3?
Well, as far as content goes, on my end, we're still exploring, circuits, simple circuits, series parallel, those sorts of things. And I think in general, the kids have had a pretty good introduction in their earlier years to these concepts, and it's more of a refresher unit, but definitely getting the sense that they don't see the connection yet with the project, even though they know that there's some sort of electrical component to the robot, because we haven't yet started the design phase of the robot, let alone the building. There's definitely a disconnect there between what we're doing in class with the content, physics-wise, versus what the project's final product will be. I think that once we start actually getting into the design phase, and especially the building phase, they're going to appreciate better what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, and we kind of discussed that a little bit talking about tomorrow. As far as, what are we going to do? What are we going to have them do? If we do go forward with, just draw a design that you think will work right now, trying to get them to think about design. I'm anxious to see what their thoughts are based on what we've done the last couple of days, if they're going to incorporate some of those things and how they're going to use them.
Yeah, and I think that in general what we're going to see right now is if we ask them on Monday to come up with an initial sketch of what they think the robot's going to look like, it's going to be too big, for one. It's going to be nothing like what they're probably going to physically be able to do. But it will be worth it just to keep them thinking about the final product, and maybe even to re-engage the excitement after a weekend, of actually building the robot and getting into that phase of it. So I think it's beneficial for us to start thinking about sketches, not design yet, but just initial concept sketch of what they could do, possibly.
Right. Yeah. I'm pretty excited for that, and we talked about that previously too, as far as life. You have to start somewhere, whether it's writing a paper. That's always the hardest part for me, writing a paper, is getting started, or whatever it is, whatever project you're doing, sometimes starting is the hardest part. So getting them started tomorrow with some sketches of designs or options, I think is going to be something good for them moving forward.
And speaking of a lot more work at the start, I feel like this project in particular has had a lot of work at the start because we haven't had time yet to actually physically construct. There hasn't been a lot of time yet that we've been able to give to work on the final product, because we have to build a lot of foundation first with content before they can get there. And that's meant a lot more work on our end as a result of that. And I think that once we get through, especially the design phase, it's really going to start to take off. I think for right now, it's going to be a lot of kind of business work to get through some of the content and to really build that foundation so they can do a fantastic job on their final products. I think they'll appreciate it when we get there. But on both sides, student and teacher right now, it's a bit of work just to lay that foundation.
Yeah, quite a bit. What do you think, and maybe you don't have an answer, but just get your thoughts, what do you think is the reason we're having what we feel like is such busy days in the beginning of this project, as far as content-wise, or, just...
I think part of it's just, this is some, physics-wise, it's a topic that not a lot of people have a vast wealth of prior knowledge on. A lot of our kids don't have a clue why plugging their computer into the outlet helps the computer run.
Right.
I mean, they know it provides electricity, but they don't know what causes that electricity to actually move from the outlet to their computer.
Right, and that's exactly what I was thinking. That's what made me think of that question when you were talking just a second ago.
Yeah.
Where it hit a light bulb right there, kind of.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no. It hit me that, we're doing all this work, and I tried to think about why, and why is because they don't really have experience. And I went back to our day 1 interviews where I was talking to some students, and a lot of them have no experience with not only robots, but the circuitry and getting power to motors and how motors work. So I think that kind of leads us right there. So you did pass the test. You answered the question the way that I was hoping you would. Yeah.
I live to teach Monday.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. You too.
I think that's good.
Yeah, we'll enjoy our weekend and be ready to go on Monday.
Yes, sir.
do
Thank
it.
you.